Okay, so this is my more normal setup. I just kind of had that set up so I can demonstrate the C70. Did a previous video. This time I've got the M70 hooked up to the RXV 2092, and immediately, like, just because with the C7, it's just a different sound altogether. So it was really hard to make a comparison with vinyl. And then I usually listen to music through YouTube, and then I was using the MX2. Now I have it where I'm doing the same thing. That time I was using vinyl. You know, it's totally different. So this time I'm using vinyl, the V2092, which I normally use, and the M70, and the M70 is just an amazing amplifier. I go back and forth. Like, I hook the MX2 up. I'm like, oh, this is better. Then I hook the M70 up. I'm like, no, this one's better. And I go back and forth on them constantly. As you see, I pulled the C70 off of the M70. You do not want to run a C70 right directly above the M70. This thing is a space heater. It was cooking when I took it off, and I was only running it for maybe 30 minutes. So you got to make sure you don't do that. If you have, I hear later on the C80 and the C85, and then like the MX 1000U. Those are all in this size or bigger than the M70. That those run cooler, and you can also select, auto select AB after a certain wattage. It'll switch over. Those don't run quite as hot as the M70. The M70 is known to run very warm. So yeah, you don't want to have anything setting on that. I mean, look at how open the top is. I mean, this thing, it has to be able to dissipate its heat. I mean, that's why they've got all this wide open in the back. Runs very warm, but sounds amazing. Super impressed. So I'm gonna do a short little demo here, but it's sweet sounding, and I just chose something I figured wouldn't get flagged here. But playing a little bit of the bells with Chris Connolly, and it sounds absolutely amazing on here. It sounds like I have these things bi-amped. The Clips chorus is all of a sudden, the separation is better on the M70 than the MX2. The MX2 has more bottom end, but the M70, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I'm really impressed with it. I mean, I do this every year when I hook it back up, and then I get to this springtime and the room starts getting warm because the M70 is just cooking everything. So I'll fire up the MX2, and I'm like, wow, this thing sounds pretty sweet. So they're just two different amplifiers. That's all it is. They're both excellent, but they do sound different. So anybody tells you, and this is 200 watts and this is 150, and they'll say any amplifier worth its salt, that as long as it's the same wattage, it should sound the same. Not to me. not at all. Because I've been living with the MX2 for months, so I immediately could tell the difference. It's very apparent, but putting a finger on it's hard. That's about 3/4 on the dial, but that's about, or no, I'm sorry, that was like at about 10 o'clock on the dial, but that's about 3/4 at the amplifier. So about 2 o'clock, you're gonna start running this into clipping. You could adjust those so that you could have the M70 set to be pegged when this is pegged, but I don't know if you're gonna raise your sound floor doing that. So I don't know if I'd recommend that necessarily. Because you'd have to have it turned up higher before you're hearing anything. And I know that if you have nothing hooked up, or you don't have a signal going through, and you turn this volume all the way up, somewhere around like 3-4 o'clock, it'll start to add noise into the signal. So You know, it would be, I don't know, it would make it less sensitive, but I don't know if you'd want to really do that. But anyway, yeah, it's just, it probably sounds horrible recorded over a phone, but it I don't know, it brings a smile to my face when I listen to it. It's just a really awesome sounding, and this is not the best signal. I mean, this is a compressed, you know, signal listening to music through YouTube. I hooked something up like, you know, a good CD player or something. This thing's just amazing. Yeah, I highly recommend that, or the 2092 as a preamp. It's not orthodox, but it has RCA outs for center, left, right, main, left, right, rear. It has them all, so it can definitely be used as a multi-channel preamp, no problem. And that's how I've used it, and I've had good luck with it. So anyway, that's it for this one.